Page attached to that, Ray.
I think they're very similar to the same conclusions and findings that I reached, and I don't see anything improper or incorrect with those findings.
No, I agree with them. I just want to make sure that in our record, that they're sufficient.
Yeah, I think they are between the staff report, the tape of the Coastal Permit Administrator hearing, and the tape of today's hearing.
Okay. To tag on to Supervisor Pinch's comments, this is the second time Ms. Spade's been before us with a very complicated issue, and once again, the staff report was very, very well done. It's a lot of issues that you've had to deal with, and I commend you and Mr. Hall for sorting through all that and coming up with a very good recommendation. In the old days, we used to be able to make de minimis findings on the fish and game fee and save the landowner some hassles when it was clear that there would be no impacts. And unfortunately, the state and its greed took that ability away from us, but I'm hoping that since this clearly is I would make a de minimis finding without a doubt, hopefully the Fish and Game will see the wisdom in that as well and waive that for the landowner, because what is happening here is, to me, is an excellent project that's really going to benefit the community, and I hate to see the divisiveness that's occurred around what I see no downside to. I think it's really a good project for the community, and it's a shame that this will more than likely end up before the Coastal Commission. That's unfortunate, because this is a good project, and I commend Mr. Bauer and his family for wanting to make these improvements for not only their needs, but also the needs of the community and for the benefit of the trail. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor. Other comments? I have a couple of questions, some of the things I've heard from both the appellants, the applicant, and or the public. Mr. Hall, just to reiterate, this meets CEQA?
Yes, it does. I adopted a negative declaration.
Okay. And it meets the local coastal plan?
Staff and myself believe that it is in compliance with the local coastal plan.
Okay. How about the discussion in regards to the inspection of the trail existing and who will be actually inspecting if this is granted?
I'd go back and take a look at the conditions. I know that what we attempted to do was, in speculation on my part, but there was probably a use permit from 04, probably didn't say what the standard was that trail had to be built to, and therefore you now have some issues of, well, you know, is this what was intended? Was there supposed to be a rock there? Was there not? A special condition with this project requires that they photo document the existing improvements so that when they're reconstructed in kind.
Okay, thank you. And one of the applicants presented a picture, I believe it was Mr. Rao, picture 7, in regards to the stake and the flag, the story pole. Just to confirm, that will be the height of the wall, the top of the flag?
I was of the opinion that the wall will actually be at grade level, being the GeoWeb. Is that correct?
The top of the stake and the flag. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm going to reiterate a couple of my colleagues' comments and cut to the chase by not restating those. I'm going to be voting for the denial of the appeal, and having looked at all sides, looked at all the information being that the 5 of us have received and heard, and nothing more, and I believe this will be an effort of actual protection to the town of Walla and an actual overall improvement to both the bank and the trail. I cannot address future projects. Let me restate that. I cannot address future projects that are not before me in paper. I think that kind of goes county-wide, not just this project. So I'm going to be voting for the denial of the appeal for all the information we've seen and an improvement and overall betterment of the town. So, at this point, any additional questions of the staff, the applicant, or the public? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. The matter is now before the Board of Supervisors, and I would solicit movement towards a motion. And to the public, no comment will be allowed to any proposed motion. This is now before the board for a decision-making process. So, the tradition has been, and I won't break tradition, I would like to defer to the district supervisor from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the acknowledgement that the district supervisor ordinarily has some authority and some comfort with his own district or her own district, and I applaud you for that. I can also count to 3, and so I'm disinclined at this time to make any motion to move this thing forward, because I do have some very serious concerns about this particular project, and yet at the same time I appreciate some of the good things that people are hoping will come out of this project, but at this particular time I did not feel comfortable about making a motion either for or, and certainly against, to see it go down in the face of what has already been expressed.
Thank you for your honesty, Supervisor Koufax. And I'm still soliciting input. Who wants to go first? Supervisor Pinches.
Yeah.
It is limited to a motion.
I won't be bashful. I will make a motion to deny the appeal.
I'll second it, but I'll have the maker of the motion that there's a couple other, it's the recommended motion.
Yeah, the
there's other
recommended
parts
motion.
to it. Second.
Okay, so the motion and the second before us is the recommended motion with the addition of condition 8, is that correct?
No. Modified condition number 2.
Modified condition number 2, my mistake. Discussion to the motion, to the board. Okay, seeing no discussion, I'll call for the vote, and it seems today we're using the board, so let's push our button on the vote, please.
Motion carries with Supervisor Colfax dissenting.
Thank you, and thank you to all the members of the public. It is my hope that this development moves forward in an amicable community way and towards the overall goal of improving the South Coast community of Walla. Thank you. And at this point, we have several more issues throughout the day yet to do. Let's take a 10-minute break, and we'll